Thanks, Mike. After a November that started in the 60s and 70s, some Michiana homeowners are scrambling to get their homes ready for this weekend's expected chill.
And firefighters have some helpful tips for people who will be firing up the furnace this weekend for the first time. News Center 16's Joel Porter talked to a few people who are getting their house in order, so to speak. And Joel, I imagine quite a few families will be throwing a log or two on the fire this weekend.
Terry, we've had such mild weather that in many cases people really haven't had to use those fireplaces or wood-burning stoves in about 8 months or so. It's been that long and we've had it so good. Well, that's why Clay firefighters are urging families to make sure their furnaces are checked and their chimneys are properly cleaned and swept before they strike a match. Wood-burning heat also brings the danger of carbon monoxide, so families are also reminded to pick up a CO detector and swap out the batteries just like they should have done for those smoke detectors and thermostats.
As that snow builds up, a lot of the furnaces have, the high efficiency ones have a pipe that come out of the side of the house. You need to make sure that stays clear. A lot of times that will build up and block up those pipes, and that's what happens with the CO builds up in the house.
I go around, I take a piece of incense, a stick incense, and go up around the doors, and if air's coming in, it's going to show me.
Yeah, you don't want that cold air sneaking into the house. That ends up costing you a little more money on that heat bill. But you saw many homeowners already have the yards and the rakes all cleaned up. That's good because, as Mike was talking about, snow and rain potentially in the forecast this weekend. This will be a terrible weekend to be 10 feet up a ladder, Terry.
Yeah, Joel, I doubt we'll see many husbands and wives out hanging Christmas lights or checking the pitch on their gutters. What are some safe jobs that people can tackle this weekend?
Well, a pretty safe bet, Terry. One relatively simple task is to replace the weather stripping on your windows and doors. You don't have to go outside to do that, and home experts say that can save you about 15% on your energy bill come winter, so every little bit helps.
All right, Joel Porter reporting live tonight from South Bend. Joel, thanks.
News Center 16's Joel Porter talked with a few people who are buttoning up their homes before the first snowfall. So, Joel, what kind of jobs are they tackling?
Well, for the last couple of weeks, Maureen, people have been frankly raking leaves, getting their yards all cleaned up, although tonight's strong winds and rain, I think it's going to make just more of a mess outside. But this is not exactly a weekend to be doing outdoor yard work. So mainly the big job for anybody with a wood-burning stove or a fireplace is getting those chimneys cleaned and swept before the cold weather moves in. With 60s and 70s for the past few months, most families haven't had to throw wood on the fire since about spring. If you've already had your chimney swept, then it's time to put new batteries in that smoke, CO detector, and thermostat. Our furnaces have not had much of a workout just yet, so you can get yours tested. If you are picking up wood to burn this weekend, experts recommend staying away from softer woods like pine, birch, or spruce.
I don't mess with those. They're too dangerous. They burn too fast. They get the inside of the fireplace too hot, too fast, and the creosote that forms on the sides of the chimney catches fire.
That built-up creosote, that's actually what causes a lot of accidental fires if those chimneys are not properly looked after. Well, Van Bellum says you should instead look for a hardwood, something like an oak, cherry, or even hickory is a good slow-burning wood for you.
Okay, Joel, so we've already had a few frosty nights. What else can people do to ensure their furnaces are in good shape?
Well, for one thing, Maureen, an easy job for anybody, change out those filters. Workers at Home Comfort Experts, I talked with them today, and they say one of the most common reasons that furnaces break down, especially in winter, is because they're having to work too hard because there's a bad filter in there, making the job a lot tougher. Well, a high-efficiency filter can last up to 3 months, although you may have to replace it a little more often if you have pets or have anybody in the house who smokes.
Okay, good to know.